that was interesting.
Was that part of it?
I don't think so.
Was that the announcement that we're starting?
I think it must be.
Roll out the red carpet and start the horns.
Well, I think we're just about there. It's 6:03, so I just want to thank everybody who's come out tonight. Give me just a second here and I'll transfer over so you can see who's talking. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Just want to welcome you all. My name's Aaron Gerhard. I'm the gallery director here at the Alliance for the Arts, and I want to thank you for showing up virtually in the digital sphere to our virtual opening reception for Plays Well with Others, curated by Jessica Todd. And it really is a wonderful show. I encourage you all to come on out and take a look during our gallery hours. We are open Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays from 10 to 4 and Saturdays from 9 to 1. So you can come over tomorrow or just anytime throughout the month until October 17th. So please do come out. You can even shoot me an email or reach out or give us a call and let us know, if there's a good time that's better for you. And yeah, we'll make the time to have you come out. So I just want to talk about a few things and just, as being part of the Alliance, it's a real pleasure being part with this organization. We've done, really been trying to stay engaged with our artists and our communities to continue providing opportunities for artists. This show, been working with Jessica Todd for a long time, over a year now, to put this show together with her tireless efforts, contacting artists and arranging a lot of the communication and selection process. But just as the facility with the Alliance for the Arts, some of the things that we've been trying to stay busy throughout the past 6 months here now, right? We're getting, have been a long time here for all of us, missing our artist friends and community. So it really does mean a lot to have you all here tonight. I see glasses of wine swirling around, and it just really is a lot of fun to be together again in any form. And it's our pleasure to have you here on the behalf of the Alliance. So just want to thank you again. Let's talk a few things about, I'll just transfer over to give you an introduction to our curator, Jessica Todd. Long-standing artist herself, Master of Fine Arts, jewelry and metalsmithing, has been a residency coordinator for the Robert Rauschenberg Foundation, recently relocated to St. Pete to further pursue her ambitions in becoming a curator herself and building shows and gallery exhibitions. So this show for her is a part of an emergence for her in that realm, and I think she's done an amazing job, not only from me as a friend, but also on behalf of the Alliance. The organization and the execution of this show was spectacular. From fabricating elements to the exhibition for display elements, to arranging communication with artists, shipping from all wide ranges of the country during all of this, from Portland, Oregon to Tennessee, from right here in Fort Myers. So it's a really great combination of artists and sampling that really does make a very nice exhibition. And so without further ado, I'll hand it over to you, Jessica. Give me just a minute and I'll put Jessica on the spotlight so that we can make sure we can see her. I'll pin her video, okay? And can you all see her there now? You can just give me a thumbs up. Everybody look, all right, that's good. And so Jessica's in there. She's wearing a mask. We do have a mask policy here for she's got a nice handmade fabric mask, and but she's got a photographer in there, Layla Mazahi, that's going to be filming her and walking her around. So she's going to take it off so you can hear her a little bit better. But Jessica, why don't you go ahead and give us a little introduction, and let's get started.
Hi. Thank you so much, everybody. Can everyone hear me okay before? How are we doing on sound? Is that good? Okay. Thank you so much for joining me online today. I was just telling Layla, my lovely videographer, that I saw people, I didn't get to see everybody joining because my phone is facing the other direction, but I saw some names on there that I, you know, despite all of this, the difficult times that we're in, that it's allowed us to do a virtual opening. And I saw my friend Allison Hanson from my childhood and my parents, and Jade over at FSW, and I'm sure there's many more of you, and somebody screenshot the guest list so I don't miss it, but thank you so much. I can't even think about it too much or I'm gonna cry. But thank you so much for coming out. I'm super excited about this show. Like Erin said, it's been over a year in the making, and there's been some major bumps along the way. And every time I called Erin and was like, okay, maybe we should just scrap this, Erin was like, keep going. So we're still here, and I'm just so excited that it's finally here in front of us. So I want to thank Erin for his tenacity. I want to thank the Alliance for letting me do this show here, for being open to painting the walls and just inflating a giant sculpture, all the things that they were open to us doing. I want to thank the City of Fort Myers for the Arts and Culture grant that we got for this exhibition. It allowed me to pay for shipping for the artists and stipends, because artists should be paid, and a lot of the displays and paint and things like that. So that was absolutely crucial. And then I want to thank the artists. I mean, we were literally a few months ago not even sure if we could do this exhibition, and I emailed them and said, hey, if you're out, I get it. And they all just said, no, we're gonna hang in there. And so it means so much to me. Some of these artists I knew, and some people I contacted and said, hey, I'm Jessica Todd and I'm a curator and I wanna do a show, and they just handed over their work. It's kind of amazing. And so I really appreciate their trust in me with their work. It means the world to me. Before we get started on going through the show, I do want to just take a moment to acknowledge just the situation that we're in right now, with unprecedented wildfires on the West Coast, where one of our artists, Labrie Rich, is from, with the civil unrest, people still fighting for basic human rights, and facing violence for protesting for those rights, and this global pandemic that has turned from a moment when we can all support each other and care for each other to a moment of divisiveness. And so I just want to take a moment to kind of sit with that, because this is a lighthearted show, but a lot of these artists did an amazing job of kind of touching on some more serious issues. So I just want to be silent for a moment and acknowledge that. Okay, thank you. So this show plays well with others. I am always keeping an eye on artists and looking around for work, and I wanted to create a show. I had some primary kind of principles. I really wanted to feature some local artists who I knew were making great work, and needed that like boost. I wanted to feature some people I wasn't seeing as much around town. And so I focused on some local artists, and then I started filling in with some people I knew, and then I contacted some artists that I didn't know. And I kind of emerged this theme of play, and the artists really took it and ran with it. They really interpreted it in some interesting ways. So we're just gonna kind of walk around the show, and we're in the front gallery now to give you a sense. And we have a directional flow to try to help with social distancing. So we'll move through in this direction. And I'm gonna start with this piece. When you walk in, you can't miss it. This piece is called Murshi Gafali. It's by an artist in Miami named Asser Saintfal. He makes beautiful, beautiful paintings, and he also makes inflatable sculpture. He creates these experiences of sculpture that typically involve, he has these sculptures suspended above beds, he has people laying in them, he has scents and tastes and feeds people during his openings and has music. And as we know with COVID, a lot of the senses have been taken out of the experience. So Asser was great, and we worked together to kind of create this inflatable sculpture in the space that doesn't have the usual elements of one of these pieces. But I share that to say that Asser's work is based around neuromelanin, which is a pigment found in the brain. And it's been talked about in science and philosophy and known as being this African spiritual connection from the spiritual world to the material world. And so Asser is really aiming to transcend, and his work really plays with the senses. It plays with your sense of scale and kind of, you have this, what is that? Like, what's happening? It's elevated, it's draping, and I really enjoyed his piece, and it makes such a beautiful center point in the gallery. So yeah. We're gonna walk back here. So here we have some work by Amelia Briggs. Amelia is an artist in Nashville, Tennessee. I actually found her work on Instagram, so that is a plug for all you artists out there. I'll always be an educator. Get on Instagram and put your work on there. It helps people find you. And Amelia does these amazing pieces made out of faux fur and latex on fibers. They're fuzzy and buoyant, and they just give you this sense that you want to take them down off the wall and bring them on a little adventure with you. I love these pieces, and her work references kind of these nostalgic, vague toy forms. And her work is about what things trigger our memories, and then thinking about why those things trigger our memories, and kind of exploring and going deeper as to what are the things that, when we're growing up, what are the things that shape us, and how do they inform us later in life? So yeah, Amelia. Okay, so now we're in the back gallery. We have right around this corner here a piece by Alexander Martin. Alexander is an artist who I actually found out about through a show that they did at the Alliance a couple years ago. And I'd had this work in my mind for a really long time, and when I made the show and got the grant and realized I could ship some work from Peoria, Illinois, which is where Alexander lives, I was excited to be able to do that. So Alexander created this piece just for the show. They went with the theme of play and really wanted to talk about how play has had a really serious role in their life. Alexander is a non-binary person. They perform drag, and so dressing up and playing with gender constructs, what society tells kids that they can and can't wear, and limits that imagination. Alexander's work is about letting kids play with that, dress it up, trying different hair, try something different. And, you know, again, since we have limited interactive abilities, Alexander made this amazing video which we'll get up on the website now that the show is open, so that you can see it. But it's all about playing and kind of recalling the comic book trope of action heroes getting dressed for battle and putting on a costume. So kind of that playing with how costuming can really affect your persona and encouraging people to do that in a safe and inclusive place. So then we have Chloe Lewis. Chloe Lewis lives in New York City now, but I actually saw Chloe's work for the first time at the FGCU Student Senior Show. And so Chloe has roots here in Fort Myers. That's Florida Gulf Coast University for the people in out of town. And Chloe did this amazing piece. Chloe does a lot of zines, so she has a very narrative sense to her work. And she created this kind of vignette of a young girl going through life and figuring out that life is about the trials and the tribulations and how everything is an experience and an opportunity to grow and learn. And she did a great job incorporating these kind of bright primary colors and really graphic shapes that I think really harken back to childhood, and that's kind of what she was going for with this piece. So, so yeah, Chloe Lewis. So then we'll turn over here to Brianna Ferrara. Brianna is an artist who I met at a jewelry and metalsmithing conference a couple years ago for the Society of North American Goldsmiths. And I saw her work in an exhibition of beaded work, and jaw literally dropped from my face. And I turned to the person near me and said, "Who made this? I need to meet them." And I met Brianna, and Brianna made these beautiful pieces. They're so intricate, and like Erin said, we'll get some great close-up shots so you can really appreciate. And if you can come in person, you have to come in person. But just the detail in this work is amazing. So the concept behind Brianna's pieces is inspired by a toy that she played with as a kid, which was a little stuffed elephant that you tore open the Velcro and it would birth out little mini elephants. And Brianna loved that toy as a child, but kind of realized as adulthood has gone on that it was part of this social construct of young girls being trained to associate motherhood with happiness, that it's this very sort of simple, clean tear of a Velcro and a tiny baby pops out. And when in reality, it's much messier and more challenging and so much more complex than that. And so this was her way of kind of exploring her own complicated ideas about motherhood, whether or not to have children. So we have over here work by Labrie Rich. Labrie is in Portland, Oregon, and I met Labrie through the Rauschenberg residency, where I worked for 6 years as the residency manager. And shout out to all my Rauschenberg people out there. And Labrie makes the most fun work. She also does collages and all kinds of other great stuff. And her main medium is felt. She creates, and it's hard to appreciate. I really hope everyone who can come in person does, because it's hard to appreciate because the replicas are so good, but these are all made out of felt, 100%. There's no paint, they're just textiles. And they're incredibly fun pieces, but Labrie, like some of the other artists, has a really important message behind her work, which is kind of talking about consumerism and branding and how are we sold things. And how quickly we consume things and throw them out and click and ship. And so for her, it's about stopping and thinking about the time that goes into something this complicated, and realizing how quickly we throw something out, but how much impact that has on such a greater scale. So we'll see another one of Labrie's pieces over here. This artist is Whitney Hackett. Whitney is from Fort Myers, and she is a painter. She also happens to own an awesome shop in downtown Fort Myers called Quartz and Clover that everyone should check out. And that's actually where I saw her paintings. I knew she was a painter, and I had seen some of her work, but I walked in and saw one of her pieces similar to this, and I was like, who painted that? And she said, me. And I said, okay, well, you're gonna be in my show now. So, so Whitney does these amazingly playful pieces. She's someone who looks at the world with kind of this childlike wonder, and it really comes across in her paintings. She has such a beautiful sense of color, playfulness. This piece, I say, reminds me of like a kid's biology book. It has all this flora and fauna, and so it's kind of about stopping and seeing the things that you see every day and kind of pass by, and stopping and reconsidering them in other ways. So then we'll go over here. This is another piece of Labrie's. This is Big Frito, and I hope you can get scale, but it's huge. And incredibly detailed, and just another example of Labrie's ability to tap into joy when you look at her work. She also will be doing a felting class, a virtual felting class. She's an amazing teacher. She has pieces available in the gallery shop as well, and I will turn it over to Erin real fast to tell you the details of Labrie's felting class.
Yes, I have one of her lovely little containers here. This is all you need for your felting the Good Morning Mushroom on October 10th, which is a Saturday from 2 to 4. And it's $40 for members and $50 for non-members. How's that for a plug? It should be a lot of fun. Can't wait.
Yes, thank you. So, I want to talk real quick. So we had all these great interactive ideas for this exhibition, and obviously interaction is very limited right now. So one of the things that we had talked about doing was a coloring book. And before we received the grant, it was actually going to be a fundraiser for the show. And we had done a lot of the work. The artists all created original pages, which are beautiful. And we decided that we wanted to use that, that product that we made and use it to fundraise for an organization out in the community and give back a little, especially in these times that we're in. And so the artists and I all put together a list and voted, and we decided that coloring book sales would be benefiting a nonprofit in Atlanta called Southern Fried Queer Pride. I love their name. And it's a nonprofit that supports artists who are Black and people of color, queer artists, and they do really amazing work in the South. So we wanted to support them. So if you want a coloring book, I'll do another plug. You can head to my website. 100% of the proceeds on the website go to Southern Fried Queer Pride, and you can also get a copy here in the Alliance gift shop. 60% of the proceeds will go to them, and 40% will go to the Alliance because we want to support what they do too. And those coloring book printings were funded by the City of Fort Myers grant as well. So I have some donations here on coloring book pages by my niece and nephew. And if you come to the gallery, you can hang out in this socially distanced coloring book station. And we have little crayon bundles and free copies of the coloring book for you to take and interact with the exhibition and kind of become a part of it in the best way we can right now. So head this way. All right, so here we have more paintings by Whitney Hackett. And these pieces are just so fun. They're like opening a toy chest and you look at them and your eyes just bounce around, looking for something familiar. There's all these kind of familiar characters, and I think Whitney's pieces too kind of speak to this, similar to what Labrie talks about, which is this kind of American overabundance and stopping and looking at things that you kind of take for granted. All right, so here we're back in the front gallery, and I just want to introduce you to Isabella Baquerizo. I met Isabella through as an intern at the Rauschenberg residency. She's also an FGCU grad and works as a graphic designer in Naples. And Isabella created these incredibly beautiful, fun, hilarious digital drawings and animations as well. As you can see, some have already sold. Isabella did a really cool thing, which is she created a form submission on her website and anonymously collected stories from people. And the stories that she collected are people's strangest imaginary game that they played as a child. And she kind of reimagined their stories just from the text. And you'll see when we post all these, and if you come into the gallery, that each of them are titled with the story, so then you can kind of see what her inspiration was. And they're really funny, really telling. And then once you finish viewing all those, I'll let you see here too, she's also animated all of these drawings as well. So yeah, and this was such a beautiful project, and I talked with Izzy before she created this work. You know, when all this process started, we were in kind of different times, and so Izzy was thinking of something fun and playful, and we talked, and she was like, I don't know if I want to make anything fun and playful right now. We're in these kind of very grave times, and so we talked about it and how to address it, and we felt like this tapped into something really important underneath it, which is that kids have these beautiful imaginations. They don't feel limited, they don't feel stifled, they dream of the world as they want to see it. And so it was about highlighting that and kind of going back to what did we imagine ourselves before we started limiting ourselves and before society started limiting us. And so it's kind of a call to action too, that we all need to be better for each other, to encourage each other to follow our dreams, and to not be so limited, and to care for each other. So I think it ended up really beautiful, and really that's what I want to take away from the whole show, that it's playful and fun, but a lot of the undercurrents are about taking care of each other and just being inclusive and loving, and yeah. So I'll finish by plugging the gallery shop. We have some great work by some of the artists in there, as well as the coloring book. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you. We have some lectures and online virtual content that'll be coming up that Erin's gonna go over, and thank you.
The silent applause. Everybody can feel free to unmute. I see lots of hands waving, fingers snapping. Glasses being raised.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Well, that was a wonderful explanation there and tour, Jessica. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. That was very well said, beautifully put, and very much justice done to all those artists and their amazing work. So I want to thank you for that, doing an amazing job. Very heartfelt. And I was tearing up again. All these, they get so emotional. We're all so far away from each other, right? And we get these beautiful moments together, and it really is special. So thank you all for being here again. So we're just about halfway through. We've got a few other things we want to talk about tonight. I'll highlight some of the other events that are going to happen throughout the month with this exhibition into the final day. October 17th is when this exhibit comes down, which will be a sad day, but it'll be fun while we have it, so can't wait to enjoy it more. So first up is next Friday, September 18th, we have Artist Q&A talk. It'll be a similar format to tonight, which is sort of a little more casual. We bounce around and chat some ideas and discussions with Alexander Martin, the artist from Peoria that around the corner there that has the video and the doll with all the different assemblages that you could dress up, costume jewelry. Then after that, Amelia Briggs on September 28th, which is a Monday, and these are all at 6 to 7 p.m. So we try and get it right in dinner time, so you can have a dinner and a show here and join us. And then we're going to round it off with Jessica Todd again here, your faithful curator, on October 5th. With a little more in depth about the selection process, a little bit more about layout, installation, the proposals, and all those more detailed elements to sort of elaborate on the process of curation for this exhibit. And don't forget as well, we spotlighted there the needle felt working workshop on October 10th. So that's a Saturday from 2 to 4. So you can, any of these things, if you have any questions, give us a call anytime. And during the week, we'll be happy to chat over and discuss with you any options that might work for you. And we'd love to have you. All of those things are also available through the website. So you can go on to artandlead.org and just check it out and bounce around there and see what else we've got going on. A lot of cool things. We've got art outside, installations, assemblage, pop-up installations all over the campus. So we're staying busy and having fun and engaging you all, trying to keep all the artists inspired here. Do we want to, I just want to open the floor. I know we have some of the artists here. We've got some time to hear from any of the artists participating in the show. If anybody, I see a few of you, if you want to just say a few words, say hi, let us know what's going on in your world, and we'd love to hear from you. So we want to start with some of the local artists here. We've got Whitney, Chloe, and Isabella. Well, Chloe's not so much local anymore, but let's see. Whitney, do you want to kick us off here? Put you on the spot. Make sure you unmute there.
Okay. Hi. Thank you so much, Jessica. That was incredible. I think you were spot on talking about my work and, the commentary on overabundance. I think that's always been a big part of my work. Also memory, like the way that we hold on to things, like we put meaning to objects, and everybody has different tastes in that department, and kind of assigning memory to objects and either being able to easily let go of them or not let go of them, and that emotional attachment. And so, yeah, my work is definitely about processing that experience of collecting things in the material world and the way that we interact with them in our everyday lives, and just kind of taking time to have admiration for that process. I think like my paintings take me so long, and so it's almost like glorifying these things at this moment in time, and like a scrapbook, like this is what I was into at some point, and then you move on and let it go. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And thank you so much to Aaron and Jessica. You guys are incredible in the Alliance of the Arts. Very, very proud to be a part of this.
Thanks, Whitney. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to see your work on the walls in here. All right, let's see. We'll bounce up. We'll bounce up to New York City. There, Chloe. You want to just say hello? Say a word.
Hello, I'm Chloe. I did the big accordion illustration on the wall, and it was essentially an illustration of the journey of a girl going through life, coping, making observations, exploring, growing in her own way and moving forward with newfound ideas about who she is. And I think this piece has given me a lot of solace through this time, because it's so weird right now, and especially in New York with how the quarantine, we got quarantined like so early on in the process, and it was scary, and it was hard, but this piece really allowed me to like have moments where I was able to play, to explore, to be without having the stress of all of this. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me, and the show was absolutely spectacular. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Thanks, Chloe. Yeah, we miss you down here. It was that's a great analysis there. I mean, it had to have been intensely difficult and continues to be. I appreciate you being able to still be a part here. And yeah, your pieces bring a lot of joy for sure. The exploration, fun. And I love your printmaking process too, by the way. And the accordions are really fun to open and close. All right.
Yeah, they are really fun.
We were like, woo!
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's see. Well, round up the last of the locals here. Isabella, you want to give us a little...
Hi.
Okay, good. Yep.
Hi, everyone. I first want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you, Jess, for putting this together, and Aaron for putting this together. And I met Jess just being like an intern at Rauschenberg, and it was when I was going to have my FGCU undergrad show, and I invited her, and just from that, like, she remembered like me and remember what I did and like believed in me as an artist, and then reached out for this show. And I just loved the concept that she came up with. It's something that I truly like also believe in. I've always like loved being playful, and I've always believed like we are still like the same kids or child we were like back in the playground years ago. Some of us remember more than others, but I love that we always like remember had freedom and like innocence, and just believed in so many things that we as a society like forget about. So this was such a like a wonderful way for me to remember that, and just like make art during these difficult times and do what I love, really. So thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Izzy.
Thanks.
All right, now let's jump across the peninsula here. I see Asser out there. Asser, would you like to join us here? We had a lot of fun blowing up that, getting the helium out. So yeah, I wanted to say hello. Make sure you're unmuted there. Sorry. Oh, sorry, can't hear you, Asser.
You can hear? Okay, okay. I need to unmute. I'm on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, I want to congratulate everyone, especially the artists who just stick with everything despite, you know, everything that's happening in the world right now. And where's Jessica? How come she's not there? I see her name, but I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Okay, so you're listening, right, Jessica? Okay, Jessica.
I'm
You-
over here because the camera's that way, so I'm so I can watch you guys. I
All
want to
right,
see you.
cool. Cool. I cannot thank you enough, Jessica. I can't believe you actually stay and be consistent, and you're relentless about the show from the beginning before the quarantine. I was wondering what would happen once we were asked to quarantine at home. Jessica, I think you are, I appreciate how you addressed all the work. And it's something I've noticed a lot in the art world. Curators are usually, they would take an artist's statement and then they regurgitate it, or they just, and what you did, I felt like you understood the artwork, and my work is very complex. You concise this in a way that's very clean and precise, and people get it, even though you can't really get into the details because it's very layered. And I think you did a good job with everyone's work. The Cheetos, I love this work. Who did the Cheetos? Could you raise your hand? Who's the artist? Congratulations, everyone. Oh, you the Cheetos? It's amazing. Fritos, Cheetos, Fritos. I love your work. It's amazing. Congratulations. Yeah, Jessica, you're amazing. Thank you for not reading my statement. And Aaron, thank you for trying. I know there's a component in the artwork where the balloon is kind of like moving and floating. We tried, we couldn't get it to happen, but this kind of stuff happened, and I'm still happy with how the show came about. It's very cohesive and it's clean, and it's every artwork seems to blend very well together. I could tell Jessica really thought through about how this artwork would work with each other and how they would flow. Good job, Jessica. Bravo to you. And thank you, Aaron.
Oh, kind words, Asser. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
We did the first ever. Well, I don't know, but we had a lot of fun doing a Zoom install with Asser over in Miami. I was holding the camera. Jessica was wrapping the sculpture, and he was walking us through it. It was.
I can't believe it happened. I mean, we'll have to drive to Fort Myers, but I didn't have to, so it's great. We did it.
It worked out. We did it.
Yeah. Thanks
All
for
right.
pulling up Jill. Jill is here, one of my friends. She's amazing. She has one of my artwork at her house, and she wanted to come and see the show.
Hi, Jill.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to come on over, just give us a call. We'll have the doors open for you. All right, so let's see.
Congratulations, artists. You guys are amazing. Great work.
Let's see. We want to hop over to. I've got a few of you out there. Labrie, do you want to jump in there? You're the farthest away. You're on the other side of the landmass here.
Hey everybody, I'm Labrie. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I'm the Frito fan, and what a wonderful tour of the show, Jessica. I really actually feel like I've been in the space, which is so cool. And I also feel like I got a sense for your vision with the show, which is so great. The subject of play is so important to me in my work, and I feel like it's so often misunderstood. I think so often people associate play with childlike things or things that are, you know, kid stuff, but to me, play is so essential to humanity and so essential to our true nature, you know, our sort of childlike kind of essential nature. And it was really interesting, you walking through the show and then also starting to hear people talk about their process of making the work, how, you know, the show is about play, but it has held such a serious place in our lives, like for Chloe in this pandemic, you know, but then making this work generated joy and energy and love for her, you know, that's pretty incredible. And then I think, Jessica, for you, the way you handled this show as a curator really, you know, you handled it like an artist, like you really made it into an artwork. Like Aster said, it's so cohesive and it's like colorful and concise, but really clean. And so, you know, it generated joy and love for you. And then for the viewers, I think people coming by, like, how can you not look at some of these pieces like Brianna's pieces and not feel that there's more possible in the world than you felt before you walked in the gallery? And I feel like, oh, I'm getting emotional. It's very smoky here. And I've been in my house for 5 days. And it's just so important for us all to feel what's possible in the world right now. And I think by sort of persisting with the show and the fact that we found creative ways to make it happen, and I know that's from Erin's hard work and Jessica's hard work and the people at the Alliance, it's just so important right now. So thank you so much to everyone. Really appreciate it. And come to my workshop and I won't cry during it.
Oh, stop it. You're making me blush. All right. Wow. Thank you, Labrie. That really means a lot to all of us. And I think you're hitting it right on the nose. So appreciate it. All right. Brianna, would you like to? You can't not love those pieces. They're so amazing. Yeah, let's hear from you to bring us home. I think you're the last artist who's present, but we'll double check.
Oh, cool. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So first, thank you, Erin and Jess. I mean, I am just so taken back by the quality of this show, considering everything that's happening in the world. I mean, just knowing that you put so much time and love into this. I mean, I'm feeling very emotional too about it. It's amazing. And I'm really upset that I can't be there because I can't even imagine how it is in person, but I'm really happy that I was able to, you know, see it, even if it's just through a walkthrough. But also Jess is just, I've never met anybody more just like immediately supportive in my life. Like, we briefly met at a conference and then she was just so supportive and loving of my work and of me. And I just think she's such an incredible person. And I'm so proud to have been in her show with so many amazing artists. And there were many times where I was like, I hope I'm not freaking Jess out, because I was like very vague about what I was doing and very vague about how far along I was, because it was like, you know, it was getting down to the wire and it was like a little nerve-wracking. But she trusted me and she was just like, nope, you do you. And that's kind of what I needed to not get overly stressed. And also this project, I don't know if it was this way for anybody else, but I was having a really hard time getting into my studio because of what's been happening. And even though, you know, my studio is at my house and I do a lot of work at home, I was having a really, really hard time processing things and getting back into doing what I love to do. And so this show really pushed me to have fun and to get back into the studio and commit to something. And they took a really, really long time, but I think I needed it to get reinvigorated. So I'm just really happy that you stuck with it. I'm really impressed that you stuck with it. And I just wanted to say that all of these artists are people that I personally admire. Even if I didn't know them before, now I'm just obsessed with their work. And I'm so happy that we know each other now. And I haven't been in a show that wasn't jewelry oriented in a very, very long time. Very long time. So I'm just thrilled, and I love all of you and I love your work, and I'm so proud to be amongst your work because it's all amazing. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Oh, that's great. So
Thank you guys so much. You're way too nice. I'm gonna record this and like keep it for when I'm like depressed and quarantine sad and just watch it over and over again. You guys are amazing. So thank you. And the only reason I'm not on this side is so I can see your faces. So.
Do we have any, we've got probably like, 8 minutes until we get to 7. Do we, any questions from the audience or anything? Anybody want to chime in and say anything? More than welcome, just unmute and just jump on in here. We'll corral you as needed. It's a race for the mute button.
Hi, I have a question about the shapes that are on the wall. How did you decide to put shapes and also paint some of the furniture in that lavender color?
Yeah. All this curating experience has been a really good learning experience for me. I curated one show in grad school, and I consider like writing curating too. But this is my first big installation, and one of my learning experiences was that there's like feedback. Maybe if everyone goes mute, are we getting?
I think we're better now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I hear myself talking and it's weird. Yeah, I invited the artists, and I kind of had a sense of the scale of people's work, but I didn't quite know what I was getting. And a lot of the artists make smaller work, and so it was just figuring out once I knew exactly what everyone was doing and trying to nail them down on dimensions. And I emailed Brianna like 4 times to make sure that she was serious about the dimensions of her purses, because I couldn't believe they were that big. And she's like, yes, Jess, they're that big. So yeah, it was, once I got everything and got a sense of how it was going to be in the space, and I did like a 3D model, which was really helpful since I couldn't physically be here and physically see the work yet. I just wanted something to ground some of the work in the space. I wanted a way to let some of the smaller work balance, these big pieces. We have this amazing, huge, inflatable sculpture by Asser, and then these beautiful, huge paintings by Whitney, and then some smaller pieces. So I wanted those pieces to kind of carry the same weight in the gallery, and also just paint the walls because it's fun, and stick with some nice, bright colors, and just kind of make it about fun and play. So.
Great. Anybody else?
wanted to share.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to share a little story. On Thursday night, we have a art play class, so it's a dance class for young artists with autism. So we do dance and music, and as some of the kids were coming out from the amphitheater, it started pouring, so we brought them in through the theater, and I came out from my office, and one of the kids said, "I want this to be my room." And I thought, in that one moment of this young person walking into a gallery space and being able to identify with this idea of play and color, and, for him, the noise he hears in his head sometimes just goes so fast, so far, but he walked in and immediately felt like a sense of place. And I think that plays well with other, and that bright, and this spot where we're, whether we're looking at the West Coast and fires, and we're dealing with, systemic racism and equity issues, and when we're dealing with the arts industry, from performance to those of us who gather people together being picked apart and trying to figure out how to bring artists to the front. Like, in that one moment, I kind of was like, oh, I'm so happy to work in the arts, and I love being here, and I love all these artists, and like, it was just that moment of play coming to life. And then he walked away and didn't care anything more about it. But in that one brief moment, as soon as he saw all your work, he felt that sense of this, I want this to be my room. And I really loved that. And I just wanted to share that with the artists, because I know for me, I always love going into a bright, shiny gallery. I love the way that both Erin and Jessica transformed the space. I love the paint on the walls, the shapes, width of the artists. I mean, I think that you really thought about everything, from the wayfinding signage all the way to the font of the show title, and using up space, and that you provided much more emphasis on the individual artists as a collective than on the entirety of the show, which I don't think we see very often when curators take over the Alliance. And I think that's a testament to what all the artists have said about Jessica, of this passion of equity and inclusion and bringing together the community. And it's certainly, you guys are our heroes. We're grateful to be able to see your work every day. So thanks for making us smile.
Thank you. Am I on mute? No. Thank you. That's so good to hear. And yeah, shout out to Izzy. Isabella Bacariso did the font. So she's to thank for the experience.
Now you are.
But yeah, I really wanted to highlight the artists and have focus on that throughout. That's been really important to me. We have, I don't know if anybody caught it, but in the front here, everybody has a little, maybe we'll walk over there. Everybody's picture and artist statement and website and all that good stuff is up on the wall here. Because I really want people to be like, there's nothing more I hate than going to a show and then like I can't find the artists and where are they? And there's a lot of content as well on my website, which is justtoddstudio.com. But yeah, it's all about the artists. I began as an artist. I'm still an artist, so I get hopefully what artists need for, you have to have a career and you have to survive to be able to make this work and share it with us. And that's why it was so important for me. I don't know if everyone knows this, but a lot of times when artists are invited to do shows or get into a show, they're paying sometimes an application fee, they're paying their shipping, they're paying for their materials. Sales are not always gonna happen. And so you're losing money on shows. And if I had the finances to give them more for this, I would have, but it was really important to me to pay for shipping and then to fit into my budget artist stipends, because if you can't survive as an artist, you stop making art and start doing something else. So. Any other questions?
Jade is sending hearts.
I have a question to
yeah, ask her.
Yeah. Jessica, is this your first show? I mean, from being an artist to decide to exhibit, how did that happen?
Yeah, it's my first show. I did a little. I did a little show in grad school with some student work, and but yeah, this is my first full-scale thing, and this beautiful, amazing Alliance Gallery is huge, so it was a little bit intimidating, especially for my jewelers and felters. But yeah, the process was that really since grad school, initially I thought I'm leaving grad school, I want to be an artist, maybe teach, but mostly be an artist, and but I'm broke. And so I was looking for a job. I don't know how on earth the gods smiled on me, and I got a job at the Rauschenberg residency, and I started working there, and initially was like, oh, it's a really cool day job, but I'm going to keep my artistic practice. And as time went on, I realized that I was meeting all these amazing artists who had all these spectacular things to say, and voices that I just felt really passionately needed to be heard. And I started finding more fulfillment by helping them in the ways I could through the residency, and then later getting involved in the Society of North American Goldsmiths and other nonprofits, and more fulfillment for me in finding ways to prop artists up and elevate the voices that I felt like were missing from the conversation, whether it's in the jewelry field or, related to racial diversity, gender diversity, not seeing local artists represented, or like Brianna said, seeing jewelry artists, never seeing them in shows with, other art media, painting and sculpture, and these hierarchies. And I wanted to dismantle that. And so arts administration is a tool for me, and I see arts administration as part of my practice. And then curating, it was like, well, if I want to see a show with all these people, I better curate it because nobody else will for me, you know? So I just started focusing on writing. I did a really great interview with Brianna Ferrara for Art Glory magazine. I kind of consider that part of my curatorial practice. I'm writing an article coming in January 2021 for Metalsmith magazine that I hope accomplishes some of these same things. And so it was really about how do I want to be the infrastructure. My boss, Ann Brady at Rauschenberg Residence, used to say the creative infrastructure to support artists. So I want to be the scaffolding that's giving you guys the spotlight you deserve, and I want the world to see your work. So that's how I got into curating.
Well put.
Well put. Amazing.
Lots of silent applause going on over here, Jessica.
Yeah. Ooh.
Thank you.
Well, we're just past
Thank you, Jack.
7 o'clock. If anybody else has anything else that they'd like to ask, we can go a couple minutes. We understand if you have to leave, but Marilyn, did you have a question?
Mute.
There you go,
I
Marilyn.
think I've got it. I'm still figuring out Zoom. All I can say is if you can make it in person, come to the gallery. I was there today. I saw it all assembled and it is absolutely brilliant. And Jessica, thank you for bringing all the artists together, and Erin for putting it all up on our beautiful space. This was great. I'm just got to figure out Zoom one of these days, but I wish I could see you all at once. I have to keep scrolling, but I see some friends, so thank you. Great to see you. God bless.
Hi, Jessica. Desiree. I guess
Marilyn
you
is one of our longtime trusted Gold Star volunteers, gallery docent, you name it.
Yeah.
Helps us do it. So without her,
Erin, is Marilyn the person I was talking about earlier who's making phone calls while I was setting up the show? Yeah, Marilyn, shout out to you, because the whole time we were installing, she was on the phone calling people up to renew their memberships, convincing them there's still great programming going on at the Alliance, and that volunteers make arts nonprofits go forward. And if it weren't for people like you who are willing to do that and with enthusiasm and joy in your voice after the 20th phone call, I was like very impressed. So.
Well, Jessica, it has been an honor and a pleasure working with you. You know, being a friend and colleague, I cannot thank you enough for the great work that you've done. It's really meant a lot to all of us here to get this together and be together right now. So again, just thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay in touch, everybody. Reach out to us. You can send me an email. Just log on to our website. Don't be a stranger. Come on in, reach out, give us a phone call. We miss you. So thank you. This has been a wonderful evening. We will see you all soon in person or virtually. Okay?
Definitely gonna go see the show.
Nice seeing everyone, smiling faces.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Tomorrow
For the artist talk.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you both.
Jessica,
Thank
you're
you
an
both.
absolute rock star. So fabulous. Oh, she left.
She's out.
Oh, no,
she's
she's
like,
still
no
there.
more. Oh, there she
You are so lovely. That was just so wonderful. It was a great way to start the weekend.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for hanging with us for these last 2 weeks, Jessica. It's your powerful energy in the space, and we're glad to have you.
Oh, thank you
Well
so
said,
much.
Lydia. Well said. I think Lydia put everything in the right perspective.
Yeah.
A little bit like home. Thank you, the artists. Really, we appreciate you guys. And you know what? I tell you, like, through all this crazy, it's the artists that have been pulling us all together, whether it's performance or visual or singing or music. And every day I am just grateful for the connection of the cultural community creating identity. And just powerful work, guys. You really outdid yourself. And we never know what Aaron is going to come up with. So occasionally we're like, you want to do what? So I guess we got to trust him. But really, nice
work.
work.
I didn't do anything. I just told Jess, I said, you're going to do it. It's going to be great.
You said yes. You said yes. That's the first step, is saying yes.
We reworked it. I said, listen, we can make this happen. We can do this. You got it.
And no, but we wouldn't have all been together, right? Like I'm so grateful for this format to be able to meet the artists. And, sometimes in the gallery when we have hundreds of people, we don't have the opportunity to really hear you guys, right? Like, or take a moment and breathe in this piece because someone spilled their wine on your foot, someone's taken a picture, like we have all these things that we do, that there is something really cool and intimate and something for all of your curriculum vitae and artist statements about how you participate in this kind of unique environment. I don't know. I there's something special about this show because of the intimacy of the artist walk and talks and here. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and we're going to keep updating online content too. We're going to do a great video walk through the space and better, really nice pictures of everything. And so just keep an eye out on the Alliance website, on my website, and we'll keep posting content.